The round got underway under lights at the Richmond Oval in slippery conditions. This was a battle for a spot in the top 5. The winner would be in the 5, the loser wouldn't. The Double Blues were well served by Josh Hone from the Mount Lofty Football Club. A 17-year-old living in Littlehampton, Josh is the ultimate rover. Working high up the ground, he had 14 quality kicks and 9 perfect handballs. He's a player who improves every week, and he got the best on ground nod from the coach this week. But not to be outdone, Dean Gore stepped up to the plate once again. From the Handel Football Club, Dean goes about his work so easily that he tends to go unnoticed. But the stat sheet showed his true worth to the club. With 32 disposals, 6 inside 50s and 5 rebound 50s, Dean earned himself a Macca's Cup MVP nomination for round 8. Jared Dooney has only recently made the switch from rugby. An overager from Pembroke, he's been playing Australian rules for about 18 months and he obviously loves it. In his first year with Sturt, he's been among the best players twice now, and he looks like a player to watch in years to come. And working out of the back pocket was tall man Tom Campbell, formerly of the Mount Barker Football Club. For a tall, Tom has a bit of pace and he used it to good advantage. One of the Bloods' best was Nathan Brown, pilfered from the seniors when the all-clear on his injured hand came too late, and he ended up in Jared Mears' under-18 side. Part of Brenton Phillips' state squad last year, Nathan slotted right in for round 8. His 21 kicks resulted in a goal in the second quarter. William Snelling was this week listed as part of the under-16 state squad. From Mercedes College, this was his first game at this level, but it soon became evident why he was the best under-16 player in the league this year. In this match, Michael played on a wing rotation, finishing as an inside midfielder in the second half. West played 5 overaged players in this team, and but for Mitch Roberts' concussion last week, it would have been 6. That's a position West coach Jared Mears has never been in before, a sign of the difficulties imposed on all clubs at this time of the year. In the end, it was yet another close but not close enough finish for the Bloods, Sturt by 11 points. Like the SANFL League match last week, this under-18 clash was on paper the match of the round, second versus third with only percentage separating them. On the ground, the Bays struggled with accuracy with just over 20% of their scoring shots going through the middle. The Eagles got on top early with goals to Michael Schwartz and Paul Ventura, but the game was really won, or should we say lost, in the second and third quarters when the Tigers managed just 1 goal from 9 scoring shots. Best on ground for the third time in 2013 was Albert Dunstan from the Edunda Robertstown Football Club. His 31 disposals a sign of his continuing good form at centre-half forward. And also in good form was one of coach Shane Grimm's smaller players, Jackson Press. From Smosh Westlakes, Jackson has decided to put his much-needed shoulder surgery on hold so that he can see the season out. The hope is that he doesn't do further damage to the injury, but he still managed 6 marks in this match and perhaps more importantly, 6 goals. In his first year with the Eagles is Sam Lodge from Ardrossan, usually opening the bowling for the West Torrens under-16 cricket club. Sam decided to give footy a go and it's paid off in spades. He amassed 18 kicks and 3 handballs on Saturday and of course a goal in the second quarter. And one of the Eagles' dynasties continued at the weekend with Jack Enright playing at half-back. Son of West Torrens legend Bob Enright, Jack has heeded the advice of his coach after being dropped a couple of weeks back. Now he's holding the Enright name up high, 17 disposals for Jack on a good day for his team. The Tigers had 35 players missing from the under-18 squad, giving the opportunity to some of the under-16 players to shine. Justin Evans and Jake McCreary stepped up and played well a level above their comfort zone. Glenn Soper worked well through the midfield, ensuring the ball spent a good deal of time in the Eagles' defensive zone. And Tom Whelan from the Cowie Naracoorte Tatiara Football League worked hard for his 28 disposals. Tom earned a free kick and kicked a goal right at the end of the match, ensuring the margin was under 11 goals. But it was a disappointing finish to what should have been a blockbuster match. Instead, it was the Eagles by 65 points. Making the 60-kilometre trip to Elizabeth Oval, Tony Bamford's Panthers were all fired up after beating Norwood in round 7. It wasn't a pretty match, but it was an opportunity for a couple of under-16s to show their wares. Cody Zoost from the Bridgewater Football Club and Lucas Hales from Mitcham were on show, and they didn't disappoint. Cody played 8 matches for the under-16s, scoring 7 goals along the way, while Lucas was second best on ground in his last under-16 match against the Eagles. Up front from the Kangarilla Football Club, Michael Ross once again scored 7 goals, an invaluable part of South's win over Norwood last week. Michael was a rock in the goal square with 9 marks, 7 of which he converted into goals. But the coach's award went to Sam Hamilton from the Noarlunga Football Football Club, Sam was solid at the back. He came out of the Panthers 50 on 5 occasions and was rarely, if ever, beaten to the ball. Tony Bamford played all 6 of his allowed overaged players, including Liam Wright. When Billy Hogden went up to the reserves, Liam, an ex-Sacred Heart player, got the call-up on Friday afternoon, and he made the midfield his own with an amazing 42 disposals and 10 clearances. The Dogs had patches of good play and got closer to a win than they have all season, but they once again struggled to put 4 quarters of football together. It's not good for the confidence of the players to lose every week, but they are improving, and if there's one thing Coach Matthew Krieg is good at, it's encouragement, and he will take note of the good things from round 8. The problem is that one of the good things to come out of the club has just left the club. Tyson Erlam returned to the Williston Football Club on Monday. He's one of 3 quality players to leave the club in the last 3 weeks. That doesn't make things any easier for the coach. But some players will keep on trying. One of them is Jackson Baldwin. In just his 3rd game back from ankle surgery, Jackson played on ball and up forward and was one of 4 Bulldogs to get 24 disposals. From the Nuriitpa Football Club, Jackson scored 2 of Central's 9 goals. And yet another player who keeps on trying is Joel Foster from the Kapunda Football Club. Nephew of Bulldogs and Hawks legend John Platten, Joel played out of the back pocket and spent some time on the ball. 13 kicks for Joel and his 4 hand passes were all delivered spot on. Statistically, this was the Dogs' best game for the season, and from that the club can take heart. But when the final siren sounded, it was South by 14 points. Fresh from his big win at the Sapsaza State Carnival, Tim Weatherald was looking for yet another win on Saturday when Mark Clayton's Magpies flew into the Prospect Oval. Having beaten West in round 7 with a somewhat cobbled-together team, Tim made 7 changes to the side for this match, welcoming 6 under-16 players into the team, all of whom played in the under-16 grand final the week before. One of them was this guy, Kieran Aegis Lebois. Incredibly, while playing in the under-16s, Kieran scored a whopping 57 goals in just 8 matches. In fact, when we saw him in the under-16 grand final last week, his 5-goal tally was his worst in terms of numbers for the entire under-16 season. This is a player about whom North's coaching staff at under-16 and under-18 level cannot speak highly enough. But it's not all about scoring goals. Setting the game up for North was one of their overaged players, Brayden Allen from Port Pirie. Brayden won 12 clearances, one of the most important aspects of any game. And in just his 2nd game was ruckman Jack Turnbull. For the first 6 rounds of this season, Jack was representing his state in basketball. Now Tim Weatherald is very happy that he's putting his hands to good use for the Roosters. 31 hitouts from Jack. Another under-16 premiership player was Stephen Tahana. In his first under-18 game, Stephen proved himself to be a natural defender. He played fullback in this match, having played at centre-halfback in the under-16 grand final. Port's forwards never stood a chance. The Magpies' best hope was Matthew Reid from the North Haven Football Club. Just a couple of months off his 19th birthday, Matt was Port's leading possession getter with 22 kicks and 7 handballs. He worked hard around the ground and was finally rewarded with a goal in the 3rd quarter when Ben Bioli fed him the ball. Michael Baker also featured high on Port's stats in just his 3rd game for Port's under-18s from the Wiruna Bay Football Club across in Whyalla. Michael played well out of defence with 11 disposals for the match. But in a match in which most of the damage was done in the first half, Port couldn't close the gap. They were 41 points down at the long break, and North would go on to win by 43 points at the Prospect Oval.